Hello there, this is Top in Business. My name is Laban Cleef with news just in that a Japanese automaker has bought 57.7% in General Motors East Africa. And to delve deeper into this story, we're joined by our reporter Victor Juma. Victor, thank you so much for speaking with us. Give us the finer details into this buyout.
GMEA was founded by the American company General Motors in partnership with the government of Kenya. That partnership has started way back in the 1970s. And apparently, if you look at our GMEA's sales in Kenya, most of them, about 95%, are Isuzu brands, Isuzu buses, Isuzu trucks, Isuzu pickups. So Isuzu, having noted that trend, says maybe it's time for us to come in and be an owner in the dealer which is doing so well riding on our brands. So I think that's what has prompted that transaction. And so GM is exiting fully, selling its 57.7% stake in GMEA to Isuzu. Now Isuzu will take control of the company, determine strategic and management direction, besides now selling actually its brands. Because another thing that has happened as a consequence of this transaction, GM is also pulling out its Chevrolet franchise. So post-transaction, GMEA will only sell Isuzu going forward.
Victor, the details we just have right now is that it's a 57.7% stake, meaning that Isuzu brand will actually have a controlling stake at General Motors East Africa. Why don't they disclose the precise amount of this buyout?
I don't know why they chose to keep quiet, because but I think it's because as much as the figure is substantial in Kenya shilling terms, I think to GM and to Isuzu the amount may not be material, because in dollar terms or in other hard currency. But in Kenya it's quite significant, because it's estimated at more than 3 billion shilling. In 2009 alone, the total value of GMEA was put at 5.4 billion shillings. So GM, having grown its market share to a record of 35% in 2016, you would expect that value to have actually gone up. So in Kenya shilling terms, it's significant. Like I said, an estimate of more than 3 billion shillings. But for whatever reason, GM and Isuzu are not willing to disclose the transaction value.
If you look at the strategy by this Japanese firm, Isuzu, what do you foresee that as kind of the industries they're trying to cash in with their commercial vehicles?
Well, the same industry of construction, trade in East Africa. So according to Isuzu, they say trade flows in the region are going to rise significantly, trade volumes. So movement of goods from Kenya to other markets or within the country is going to be significant as the population grows, as the economy grows. And given that Isuzu buses and trucks already command the largest market share in that segment, they see their entry as cementing, capitalizing on that going forward. So they expect to bring in more technical expertise, strengthen their service, after sales service, and basically take the brand to a higher level.
General Motors has been a market leader in the new car industry. Following this announcement, what do you foresee is going to happen, especially around Toyota, Nissan, as some of the other competitors as they jostle for market share?
The company sold about 212 passenger cars, the Chevrolet brands, in 2016. Now, that alone, the pull-out of that brand gives an advantage to the rival dealers like Toyota Kenya, DT Dobby, who can now come in and fill that. But I think GMEA will be able to defend its commercial vehicle market share, because Isuzu, and actually the owner of that brand, is now coming in as a shareholder. But definitely they'll lose out on the passenger car market now that GM has decided to pull out its Chevrolet franchise.
You mentioned Chevrolet. What's going to happen to the customers who initially bought the cars knowing that they're going to receive after-sales service from General Motors?
GM said that customers who have existing warranty and who just recently bought Chevrolet cars will still be able to service their cars at GM and other appointed dealers like Pewin Motors for a few months. Then I think subsequently it will be a total termination of the franchise. So I don't know what happens to people whose warranty will not have expired at that point. Maybe there could be compensation, or maybe there could be special arrangement with those specific customers who have maybe still multi-year warranties pending.
Lastly, Victor, what do you foresee as some of the other interesting happenings in the new car market going forward?
This deal cements like a trend that has been going on for a while. Remember in 2014, CMC Holdings was taken over by Dubai-based Al-Futtaim for 7.5 billion shillings. So we are seeing a case of more multinational or automakers coming in, and really there's a sort of consolidation in the market, and people who have the biggest backing in terms of finance, technical expertise are likely to carry the day.
So Victor Juma, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
That has been Victor Juma looking at the recent developments in Isuzu buying a stake in General Motors East Africa. We'd still like to hear from you. Get in touch with us through the social media platforms on your screen. My name is Laban Cleave, and this has been Top in Business.